Hi guys, my name is Sarah and I'm a nursing major at ABAC, currently studying microbiology with a focus on cancer. So I feel like before we can talk about cancer, I have to define what cancer is a little bit for you to understand it better. I think people know that cancer is scary, it's not something that you want to get, but they don't really know what it is. Cancer is when your body produces abnormal looking or abnormal functioning cells that metastasize, grow rapidly and indefinitely, and take over your normal functioning body cells. Once they have taken over all of your normal functioning body cells, they will inevitably shut down all of your bodily systems, inevitably killing you. So, in the research community, we know what cancer is, we know what it does, what the symptoms are, we know, how to identify it, and we have been able to identify a lot of carcinogens. Carcinogens are something that is cancer causing. Now, it's important to identify carcinogens because it gets us closer to identifying what a cure can be. So while we have all of these pieces to what cancer is, we're missing the final piece of how do we cure it. So what does it mean to get cancer from a virus? Well, this was a highly contentious debate for years in the research community because for a long time it's been believed that you could get cancer from certain viruses that you acquired in your life, but it was very debated. People didn't think it was possible because cancer that you get from certain viruses you had don't show up for decades at a time later. It only happens in a small percentage of the population. And the concern was that if you were getting a contagious virus and that contagious virus was giving you cancer, was the cancer also contagious? So there was a lot of people who argued it, a lot of people who didn't believe it. But in recent years, there has been solid connections to certain types of cancer, to certain types of viruses. So what is a virus? Now that we've defined cancer and all of that, what exactly is a virus? It's a big scary word, but a virus is nothing more than some simple protein and some genetic material. It's not a lot of information at all. Certain viruses, however, don't just infect your body. It's not something that you can get and treat and it go away. Certain viruses such as mono, herpes, hep B, hep C, these viruses actually change your genetic makeup. When they enter your body and they infect the host, they don't just stay there waiting to be killed off. They actually become a part of you by becoming a part of your genetic code. You've probably heard people say that once you get herpes, you never get rid of it. You might not know what that means. Well, once you get herpes, that's true, you never get rid of it. You have an active version of herpes where you have sores, come up on your face or wherever else you have the herpes. And then you have a dormant version of the herpes where you are still a carrier. You can treat the herpes and make it go dormant, but basically all you're doing is treating the symptoms because you're not treating the actual virus. The virus has become a part of your genetic makeup and you will inevitably have flare-ups as a result of this. So, how does this cause cancer? Well, everybody has normal cancer cells. I know that seems like a weird thing to say, but our body's not going to get it right 100% of the time. Sometimes our body will accidentally produce abnormal functioning or abnormal looking cells, and that's when your immune system kicks in and your white blood cells attack these abnormal cells and kill them before they spread or cause issues. Well, when you have a virus that has changed your genetic code and it's decades and decades later, then it's asking for the production of more abnormal cells than usual. because your body is not running its normal genetic code. It's running an added piece onto it. Therefore, it can cause a lot more abnormal cells to be produced than usual, sometimes too many for your body to be able to fight back. And that's how cancer grows and metastasizes and is later, found and diagnosed. So, what are the future predictions for this? What does this mean? Well, as of right now, I think the main point in this discovery of this link is that we're able to raise awareness for certain viruses. Everybody knows they don't want to get HIV. Nobody wants that. But a lot of people don't take things like herpes seriously. A lot of people don't take things like mono seriously because they believe that they can treat it and get rid of it and they don't have to worry about it anymore. However, now with this newfound information, we know, yes, you can treat it, but it could potentially lead to very serious issues down the road. So it's important to safeguard yourself from getting these diseases. And this may seem boring, if you're not interested in medical things or you really don't know anything about cancer, maybe you don't even have anybody that you've ever known that has cancer. You may think, like, how does this pertain to me? What does this matter? Well, decades ago, if you or your loved one had been diagnosed with cancer, the likelihood was that it was from unknown causes. They didn't know what caused it. They didn't know how to prevent it. They didn't know what people were putting themselves in the way of that was causing it. For a long time, we were putting building materials in our house that were carcinogens. There were a lot of things that people were eating that were carcinogens. There was just a lot of things that we were unaware as a people group that we were exposing ourselves to that was causing this. So being armed with the knowledge that something is a carcinogen makes us reduce the occurrences of it causing cancer because we stop ourselves from being around it. So this means now, if you or your loved one were to get cancer from a virus that you did have, now doctors are going to be able to link that up. There are certain cancers that have already been linked, such as mono to Hodgkin's lymphoma. And there are certain cancers that they're still not exactly sure what specific type of cancer it causes, but they know that it does cause a cancer, such as poxyviridae. They have various cancers that they're testing and trying to rule out and find out, where that link is. And this means hope, most of all. I think for those of us who do have loved ones who are suffering with cancer or who work around cancer, it can be frustrating. It can feel like, okay, like we've been fighting cancer for so long. Why isn't there a cure? There should be a cure. When truly, if you look at the big picture, it can seem like that sometimes. Because, we see a lot of people who have cancer, who are dying from cancer. But when you look at the small picture, you can see like every day strides are being made and changes are being made to rid our world of cancer. And we're getting one step closer and one step closer. It means a greater chance of survival. It means that if we understand a cause, then we can get a cure. And that is a really hopeful situation to look for. So while in 2019 we're still far away from a cure, we are one step closer than we were years ago. And that can be discouraging, but it's also very exciting because it means decades down the road when somebody's giving a speech about cancer, they can say it was eradicated in this year. We found a cure in this year. And I hope to be alive when that generation comes, and I hope that we are getting closer and closer every day to a cure for cancer. Thank you.